Hello, everybody. This is Ken Allison, and this is Mostly Sports Talk. And today with us is Cobb Oxford, and what we're going to do mostly today is talk bowl games, and especially we're going to concentrate on the one nearest and dearest to us.
Well, I see you haven't upgraded since the last time I've been here. You got the same band.
Yeah, but they sounded tired.
They
didn't
did. They were very quiet. They weren't want to make any noise.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Have to increase
to pay them.
Ooh, that's a bad word. That's a bad word here. Okay. Yeah, you haven't been here in a while, and maybe that's why. Maybe they didn't want to play for you because of not being nice. Okay, everybody. A lot of things. I'm going to say right now a couple of things. Mostly Sports Talk, one word, at gmail.com. And I am going to get into some non-sports stuff fairly soon on some other editions of this thing, and you're welcome to get involved, Cobb, because I'm getting pushed by some people on the PC crowd. I'm getting my mind is just so I will.
You're ready to explode.
I'm ready to explode.
You're just going to blow up all over everybody.
That's right. That's exactly.
Well, I'm right there with you.
Okay. All right. Clemson and Oklahoma, and the two teams have all kind of comparisons and things that they can do, and that is going to be that's the 31st.
31st, 4 p.m.
At the Orange Bowl. Those two teams met there last year.
No, they met at the Russell
Athletic Bowl last year. And of course, Clemson shocked me.
Oh, they shocked everybody.
And just came out, first play, scored.
Cole Stout, quarterback.
Right.
Nobody expected a whole lot of anything, and Clemson probably had its best all-around effort in that game. Defense was terrific. Stout managed the game well, completed some nice passes, and it was the coming-out party for Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott as offensive coordinators, and so it was a very special evening for Clemson. And the one reason that I think Oklahoma is not a good matchup is that game. It happened a year ago. Yeah, both teams they haven't seen Deshaun Watson. Clemson hasn't seen Baker Mayfield, but still, I think Oklahoma, that's got to be a motivating thing for them. But I very much think last year's bowl game was a situation, and the key to picking bowl games a lot of times is figuring out which team wants to be there. And just did not look like Oklahoma wanted to be there. Well, that will not be an issue now. Both teams want to be there. Yep. Both teams want to get one more game, survive and advance. And both teams are wide open offensively. Both teams have good defenses. Oklahoma's only loss was a real head-scratcher to Texas. Texas in the old Cotton Bowl in the Red River rivalry. And other than that, the Sooners went through TCU and Baylor and Oklahoma State, but the point there is none of those three teams had their starting quarterbacks. So there's a lot to cipher into this game. Clemson's defense, which I think has been playing on fumes for a month now.
At least. But they got to get well.
We'll get 3 weeks off. Mm-hmm. Not off, but they won't have to play a game again until the 31st of December. So that's got to help. So I expect a really good football game. And
Mike point out that Lincoln Riley was voted the Broyles Award as the number one assistant. Mm-hmm. He's the OC out there at Oklahoma.
That's who South Carolina should have hired, but that's another story.
Yeah, I don't want to make too many enemies. Of course, probably not. I'm
a Clemson guy. I thought that hire sucked.
They say, well, he was 28-21. He got fired.
He couldn't win at one of the best, probably the second best program in the SEC in Florida.
Yeah.
And he couldn't win there. And but maybe it'll work out. Like I told them 7 years ago, they laughed at us when we hired a cheerleader, and now look where we are. He's proven that he's a whole lot more than a cheerleader.
Well, Kurt, I looked up a few little figures here on the two quarterbacks. Watson is ranked 16. Mayfield is ranked 19. Attempts 413 for Watson. And he's completed 287 for 3,512 yards, 8.7 yards an attempt, and he has thrown for 270 yards a game for 30 touchdowns. Mayfield has thrown the ball 54 times, 243, and completions 3,389 yards, 9.6 is his average, and per game he's throwing for 282 and 35 touchdowns total, and that is that's what we have now. They haven't thrown many touchdown passes. Well, yes, they have. Yes, on the ground now. Watson, we hear how good Mayfield is. Well, Watson's carried it 163 times for 887 yards. That's pretty doggone good for a skinny quarterback. 5.4 average, 68 yards a game, 11 touchdowns. Mayfield has carried it 131, 420 yards, 3.2 average, 35 a game, and 7 touchdowns with him running. But his scrambling ability and his ability to extend plays, I think, is what has Brett Venables and Dabo concerned.
Outside of covering a kickoff and covering a punt, a mobile quarterback is Clemson's biggest problem as far as entering the football game.
And it has been for years.
Special teams are not very good right now, and hopefully within 3 weeks they can figure something out. But then mobile quarterbacks, and we all know it, we've all seen it, mobile quarterbacks, guys that can extend plays, have given Clemson trouble. And for some reason lately, they put pressure on a quarterback, but they haven't been able to get their hands on him. And they get the NC State game, the North Carolina game, both come to mind. Those quarterbacks both extended plays. And Syracuse showed them a triple option, and that quarterback was their fourth guy on their depth chart, and he ran all over them.
He scared us all to death.
So it really is not. Again, that's not a good matchup for Clemson. Much rather have a guy like the guy at Michigan State or the guy at Alabama, who just aren't quite as mobile. Now, the guy at Alabama runs around a little bit, but I don't know.
You sound most concerned.
I've kept this attitude the entire season, but the one positive is there's no mental block there for Clemson. Clemson knows that they can compete with Oklahoma, knows they can beat Oklahoma, and so that's got to be a positive, I would think. Last year it was Clemson playing big bad Oklahoma, and they don't have their starting quarterback, and it all looked like doom and gloom, like you were going to go to Orlando, take a beating, and come home, and the exact opposite happened. So, but yeah, I'm concerned. I think you have to be.
I know
the stuff, special teams, and being able to extend plays. That's two things that can get you beat pretty quick. So we'll see. I would hope. Of course, I would like for them to advance. I think right now to get to this point, be the only unbeaten team in the country is just nothing short of amazing.
It's just shocking in its own way. I did a a little research here, and this is some stuff I did
You've
on
been
my
doing
own.
too much research.
Well, I did steal, like I'm going to steal some stuff from Rink in just a moment on Orange and White. I hope it doesn't, Sue. And I steal some from Platter, too, occasionally. This stuff I kind of looked up myself. Clemson has 3,844 total yards, 296 per game. 2,170 of that is passing yards at 169 a game. 1,674 is rush yards. That's 128 a game. That's Clemson.
This is defense.
This is defense.
Okay. Right.
And they have given up 263 points. That's 20 points a game, a little over. Oklahoma, on the other hand, is playing in a league that they don't really tackle people a whole lot in that league, and they are doing. They've given up 4,200 yards, 4,208 really, and they're giving up 351 a game. They are giving up passing yardage of a whole 2,481 on the season, and that's 200 yards a game, a little over. And it's 1,790 rushing yards, 149 a game. That's pretty good, you think about it. And they've given up 249 points. That's 20.8 points per game. They are giving up slightly, but now they've only played 13 games.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I don't know if that's good or bad for Clemson now that you get 3 weeks to kind of heal. This week is a heal-up week. Dabo said he was giving them this week off, so it's a time to heal people like.
Well, but they got exams this week too, so you know.
It's not
like they can lay around the house,
right? But still, exams. It's not going to hurt Bullware's shoulder to take that exam.
No,
like it would
maybe.
if he was doing other things.
It may not unless he writes with that hand.
I never did understand if it was right or left shoulder. I thought it was a left. I'm not sure.
It's the left.
It's the left. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think they're two very evenly matched up teams, and as all big games do, and we say it all the time, and been saying it for years and years, it comes down to a stupid penalty. Clemson had that stupid penalty after the play. Who was that guy that did that? Unsportsmanlike on a kickoff or something. That gave him 15 yards deep. Okay, and then of course you got the turnovers, you got the interceptions, you got the fumbles, and even a fumble. If you get it yourself, it's a wasted play and usually wasted yardage too, because it's in the backfield. So.
Right.
I just think it makes up as exciting a matchup as we've seen.
I would tend to agree. I mean, the two teams actually, kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways, and it's going to be, I think, a much more interesting game than the other one. The other one, I think they could play in a phone booth, and it'll probably be over in about an hour and a half.
It's going to look like a Rocky Marciano fight.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, all that game will need is a little rain and a little mud, and it'd be perfect. But I don't think they'll allow them to bring mud into Jerry World. So
it's kind of. I think about. You know what I think about? I think about. This is the kind of game that they're going to be playing. That Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, Frank Harris might have to play this kind of game too.
Which is the reason I think the winner of the Oklahoma-Clemson game will be the favorite. If Alabama wins, they'll be the favorite to win the national championship game. But I think the winner of the national championship is going to come from the Clemson-Oklahoma game.
Do you really?
Just because of the offense.
Okay.
The fact that both of these teams can score, both of these teams can move the ball. And Alabama doesn't see anything like Clemson does in the SEC. And the one time they did, they got beat.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they turn it over 5 times against Clemson. Clemson will beat them senseless.
Yeah.
And, that's just a fact. And, Ole Miss had one bounce off a helmet for a touchdown.
Sure did.
But,
Yeah, but still.
But they've been whining about that game the whole year, just like North Carolina people continue to whine about the offsides on the kickoff. Well, just get over it. Clemson's been getting screwed against North Carolina for 50-something years, ever
Yes,
since
right.
ACC was
Right.
founded.
Yes.
And